Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What's happening, ladies and gents? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, episode 537. Excuse me, 534. I can't read there. 534. Welcome to your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So please do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. That's right, my friends. On today's conversation, there we go. I want to change the image there. It looked a little foggy. On today's conversation, we are going to talk about a little bit of everything today. We're going to talk about how the right is continuing their mission to buy the media narrative. And what I mean by that is we all know about the merger of Paramount and we were hearing the bidding war. Paramount is trying to own Warner Brothers. Paramount was recently bought out by Larry Ellison and his son David Ellison. David Ellison is currently the currently the chairman for Paramount Global. Paramount Skydance, that is Paramount Skydance. And you see a shift in familiar news networks like CBS News, which is now, that's under Paramount. And CBS has been, to a certain extent, going more conservative. Me personally, I've seen certain things why they can question that. As far as for the folks on CBS News, I don't see them leaning, right. I see them doing what they normally do, and that's, report and do journalism work like they've always done. I've never considered CBS News a far left or far right or extreme. I've always considered them very balanced. But hey, to the president, everything is fake news if they share anything bad about him or speak anything truthful that goes on. And he's like, fake news. So we see CBS News because the editor now, Barry Weiss, who is more conservative, she's trying to shift, and there's layoffs been going on. There's been seen of certain stories that are being pulled in order to benefit the administration, right? You have the FCC chair, who had he was a part of the whole Project 2025. He helped write Project 2025. So it's a lot. It's a lot happening, and we're going to talk about it because listen, the media narrative is what a lot of folks rely on when it comes to news sources. Not a lot of folks really read the newspaper anymore. They watch what's on TV. And you know how much I'm always sharing that we have got to do better when it comes to educating ourselves. For example, not relying just in one bubble, not relying on one source of news. Don't just check out, if you are a Democrat, don't just check out left-leaning news platforms. If you are a Republican, I hope you don't tune in to just Republican news platforms. You need to watch it all because you have to hear from different perspectives, and then give your own opinion on it. So we're going to talk about that. Also, if we have some time, I'll share a little bit about Candace Owens. Haven't talked a lot about Candace Owens in a while, which I'm not mad at. She gives me a headache every time, but hey, she is very relevant and is talked about in the public space. She is a massive star in the podcasting world, and she has an audience. Also, I want to talk about a rising star in the Democratic Party, a congressional candidate by the name of Kat Abu Ghazaleh, I believe that is how that last name is pronounced. She is an American journalist, social media influencer, political commentator, and she is also running for the Illinois 9th Congressional District. So there was a clip that surfaced around social media that made her go viral, and I just wanted to share my take on Miss Kat. She is 26 years old. Wow, 26 years old, and very progressive, very progressive. So we're going to talk about that later on in the show. Also, former U.S. Senator Krysten Sinema is in the news, not for good, but for bad. And yeah, we're going to talk about that later on in the show. As always, my friends, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into yet another great show. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. As you know, we drop new episodes Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube platform, The Arrington Gavin Show, as well as Facebook and wherever you get your podcasts. So that could be Apple, Spotify, iHeart, just to name a few. We're available on all streaming platforms. Also, you can check out past episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on Goatverse TV. That's right, Goatverse TV. All you have to do is just download the app. If you're an iPhone user, you can download it on your app on the App Store. If you happen to have an Android, you can download it on the Google Play Store. If you have a Roku box, look, you can download it through Roku or Amazon Fire TV. So there's multiple ways you can watch us. And also shout out to our radio affiliates. We're on a few radio platforms, which we're honored and thrilled just to have the opportunity to expand our audience. Shout out to WBOK 1230 AM out in New Orleans. As you see, I'm rocking the hat over here. WBOK 1230 AM in New Orleans. I believe we're on there Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Central Time on WBOK 1230 AM, one of the longest and oldest running Black-owned talk radio stations, which I'm telling you, man, it's nothing like being a part of Black media. Oh my gosh, it is a true honor to be a part of that platform filled with so many great programs on there. And be sure to support the programs on WBOK as well, not just mine, but also the others if you happen to be in the area. Also WDJY over in the Metro Atlanta area, WDJY 99.1 FM. You can chime into the show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the last one is KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM Las Vegas. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show Fridays at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Again, that's only on KSHP 1400 AM and 107.1 FM. Very thrilled to be out there in the Sin City, out in Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. I don't know about y'all. I've been there many times. And it's funny because I'm not really a gambler, but I feel like it's more to offer than just the gambling in Las Vegas, right? You can not partake in gambling and still have a great time. And that's what I do. I see amazing shows. I mean, last time I was there, I saw Copperfield, which he's still making a killing. Got a wonderful theater out there, I believe, at the MGM. What else did we see out there? I mean, amazing restaurants. I was staying in Caesars at the time. But yeah, I love Las Vegas. Now, when it gets hot, boy, it gets hot out there. Woo-wee. I did the bad idea once, and I went in June. It was 112 degrees. Oh my God, that was a killer. That was a killer. But it was dope. Like I said, great time, and I love the city and just everything that it has and the culture and just everything. So be sure on your way to the casino, okay? On your way, maybe you get lucky that night. You can listen to the Arrington Gavin Show on KSHP. All right, my friends. For those who are watching, do me a favor. Hey, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Like and subscribe to this channel. Also, share with a friend, share with family. We are continuing our mission to hit 5,000 subscribers. YouTube subscribers. That is 5,000 YouTube subscribers. All you have to do, again, is simple. Just go to YouTube. You can go to www.youtube.com/the Arrington Gavin Show. It's an easy way to do it too. And support your boy. I truly appreciate it. All right, my friends. As you know, we got a lot on tap today. And just stick with us. Don't go anywhere. We're going to head to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to get it going with our conversations. And so we'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
6'10", number 1 pick, 16 seasons, college player of the year, all rookie standout. Joe Smith built a career on grit, consistency, and showing up.
Greatness isn't just about the game. It's about how you show up every day. Rugged Evolution now offers body care products for every man, because not every man wears a beard, but every man deserves care. Greatness doesn't fade.
It evolves. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Every beard deserves to be legendary, and every man deserves care.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
Yeah, this that new Gold Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs. And we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
Hey family, welcome back to the show. So check this out. I want to let's get it going first by talking about this whole issue of, and I mean, depending on how you feel, you can call it issue, you can not. The right on their mission to buy the media narrative. Okay. The worst part, I think, is, and both parties are wrong, there shouldn't be partisan news platforms. There really shouldn't. In all honesty, there really shouldn't be such thing as partisan news outlets, because news at the end of the day is supposed to be reporting on factual based things. Okay. They're supposed to, you're supposed to hear, hey, when it comes to local, national news, you shouldn't have to get a biased opinion on it. To me, that's a disservice to viewers, because they know that they're always, if a sitting elected official says a statement, then they're gonna put their twist on them and say, oh my gosh, they're not doing a great job, they're not doing it. And look, I want the news to be honest with me. I don't want false things being told. That's why, yeah, I can understand why people get annoyed with well, now I keep on forgetting that they're MS Now and not MSNBC. MS Now or Fox News, how people get so frustrated. Oh my gosh, they're just so extreme, extremist side and this, and the other. And look, I tune into all the news platforms. I tune in. The one that I will say I refuse to tune into, but I've tuned into it for a few minutes is OAN. You talking about? They're just as worse as trashy reality television, in my opinion. But there's so many outlets to us, like, oh my gosh. And a lot of them are streaming based. Now one of the top ones I will give you, Scripps News, is always going to be very honest, very bipartisan. You never going to understand which side they choose. I tune into The Hill. I tune into what is another one? Al Jazeera is always pretty solid. They're factual. BBC, right? You're gonna get some factual based things, but I still tune into CNN, quite often. I tune into News Nation a lot. I'll tune into Fox, MS Now, Newsmax-ish, but I bring all this stuff up because, as you all knew or heard, the Ellisons, okay, Larry Ellison, who's the owner of Oracle and multi-billionaire, by the way. That man got billions on top of billions on top of billions. Him and his son, David Ellison. Now, David is an media executive, film producer. He's a former actor. Never seen him in any film, by the way. That's quite funny. But he's currently serving as a chairman and chief executive officer of Paramount Skydance. Now, Paramount Skydance, they literally share that he's the son of Oracle Corporation co-founder Larry Ellison, a centi billionaire. Never knew what centi billionaire even existed. But the Ellisons have strong ties with the GOP, and now they own Paramount. Okay, they own Paramount, which Paramount is continuing to try and buy majority of other platforms. So Paramount already has, let me see if I can get it up here for you. Paramount owns CBS. They own, let me see here. They own CBS, Paramount Plus, Showtime, Comedy Central, CBS News, BET, Nickelodeon, MTV, Pluto TV, and then the Free Press. Now, with this recent merger, because they were trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. Okay, now Discovery is owned by owns CNN, HBO Max, Food Network, just to name a few. But again, when I mentioned news platforms, CNN. So it was just shared that Paramount would reign supreme as the winner of the bidding war between Netflix, because Netflix ditches the deal, quietly moves away, which makes Paramount's offer deemed the superior. So let me read you this, and then I'll share a clip with you, because it was breaking news on CNN as well, and Jake Tapper brought the news on his show. This is reported right here from CNBC. Netflix is walking away from a deal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery Studios and streaming assets after the Warner Brothers WBD board deemed a revised bid by Paramount Skydance to be the superior offer. Now, Paramount raised its bid to buy the entirety of WBD to $31 per share, up from $30 per share, all cash. It was the latest amendment of Paramount's multiple offers in recent months. Now, since moving forward with a hostile bid to buy the company, and it's now unseated deal between WBD and Netflix to sell the legacy media company's studio and streaming businesses for $27.75 per share. Now, in recent weeks, Netflix granted WBD a 7-day waiver to re-engage with Paramount, resulting in the higher bid. Now, Paramount's offer is for entirety of WBD, including its paid TV networks such as CNN, TBS, and TNT. Now, here's an interesting thing, y'all. So again, when the president's friends, because President and Larry Ellison are buddy-buddies. Again, the Ellisons have strong GOP connections, and they've endorsed and sent money, donated money to their campaigns. It makes so much sense why UFC is now on Paramount, because UFC, you would think UFC would try and work a way to go to Netflix. And at the time, they were with ESPN. They were with Hulu. They were with Disney. Why would you opt out of that deal, right? Again, it's all about, hey, friends looking out for friends. So UFC worked out a deal. Now they're on Paramount Plus, and for all of those MMA viewers now heading to Paramount Plus, because see, Paramount Plus really wasn't the popular streaming platform, in my opinion. I think your top two was Netflix and Amazon, Prime Video. Those were your top two streaming outlets, and I still think Netflix is still superior. But if you look at the portfolio now for Paramount is buying a lot of real estate. And so as I continue this here, Netflix had 4 business days to make changes to its own proposal in light of Paramount's superior bid, the WBD board said recently. Instead, the decision by the streaming giant was to walk away, puts a pin in a drawn-out saga that saw amended offers from both bidders. Now, I quote here, Netflix is a great company, and throughout this process, Ted, Greg, Spence, and everyone there have been extraordinary partners to us. We wish them well in the future. WBD CEO David Zaslav said in a statement referring to Netflix co-CEOs Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters and CFO Spencer Newman, once our board votes to adopt the Paramount merger agreement, it will create tremendous value for our shareholders. Yeah, good for your shareholders, but what about your consumers? We are excited about the potential of a combined Paramount, Skydance, and Warner Brothers Discovery, and can't wait to get started working together, telling the stories that move the world. Okay, now what stories are that? Because obviously Barry Weiss is saying, well, we only can share but so many stories. We're going to share the stories that make our fearless leader look good, right? We want to continue to, give him a standing ovation, hours and hours for damn near 2 hours. That's what we want to do. We want to continue to kiss the tails of the elites. That's what we want to do. And that's what I'm seeing here. So let me share this soundbite from, this was Jake Tapper on CNN giving his take when the breaking news came out. Here we go. Here it is right here.
International lead that affects everybody I'm looking at right now in the studio. Moments ago, Netflix said it is declining to raise its offer for the purchase of Warner Brothers Studios and HBO, following the Warner Brothers Discovery Board's determination that Paramount, which is not just going for Warner Brothers Studios and HBO, but also the whole enchilada, including us here at CNN, Paramount has submitted a superior offer, according to Warner Brothers Discovery's board. As I've noted, Warner Brothers Discovery is the parent company of CNN. So let's get right to CNN Chief Media Analyst Brian Stelter. So let's start with the question, why did Netflix walk away? Ted Sarandos and others at Netflix made it very clear they really wanted Warner Brothers Studios and they really wanted HBO.
Right. In this corporate tug of war, it seems Netflix has suddenly let go of the rope. There's a lot, of course, that could still happen here. But the big news this afternoon is that Paramount suddenly is in a much stronger position to take over CNN and the rest of the Warner Bros. Discovery company, which includes HBO and the Warner Bros. Movie Studio and all those other assets. Paramount is the company that essentially put this into play last summer. New CEO David Ellison, shortly after taking over Paramount, CBS, that part of the media world, then set his sights on WBD. And WBD CEO David Zaslav started a bidding war as a result. He sided with Netflix. The WBD board sided with Netflix for a deal that had been struck back in December, but Paramount had then launched a hostile takeover bid. And in recent days, Paramount had negotiations with WBD and raised the offer to $31 per share with a bunch of sweeteners that made the deal more appealing, more palatable to WBD. So in the last 2 hours, we've heard from WBD that it is siding with Paramount, and now Netflix is walking away from the table. There's two elements about this, Jake. Number one, Netflix says, quote, the deal is no longer financially attractive, so we are declining to match the Paramount bid. But number two, Ted Sarandos, the co-CEO of Netflix, was at the White House for meetings today, and I'm told by a source he left the White House in a not very happy mood. There's a lot more reporting to do about that aspect of the story. We don't know anything from the Netflix side about the White House meetings, but it is clear that M&A runs through the Oval Office right now, and it is possible that Netflix has been given signals from the White House that the regulatory roadblocks were going to be too severe for the Netflix deal to get through. Bottom line, Paramount now takes the lead in this ongoing race to take over Warner Brothers. There are still other regulatory hurdles for Paramount, but it's a big, big change now and a big success for Paramount to have Netflix say it's walking away. And there's lots of caveats, Jake. Netflix says it's walking away. There's been new developments every few hours in this story, so we'll see what happens next. But at least for now, Paramount with a clear lead right now to take over CNN.
Explain what you mean. You said M&A walks through the M&A moves through the White House. That's mergers and acquisitions. Explain exactly what you mean by that. You're saying that President Trump has to sign off on any one of these deals now if they're big enough.
His government does, right? His administration, historically, the FCC, in this case, it's the DOJ, the Justice Department, that would sign off. And the DOJ is currently reviewing the Netflix deal that apparently fell apart in the last few minutes. We know that President Trump's taken a very personal interest in this particular deal, however. He has said that it's, quote, imperative that CNN be sold, given that he doesn't like the current owners of CNN. And
that's why I'll stop it right there, because everything has a reason, right? There was always, a reason behind this, because all these years, Larry Ellison, to my knowledge, was never, ever thinking of being involved in the media space, right? Why now? Why all of a sudden now do these you heard centi-billionaires want to enter into the media realm and become owners and run the media narrative, right? You got Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, right? Not too many people were happy when that first happened, especially when he went against tradition and not endorse a candidate, a presidential candidate. And I've shared that I really didn't think that was a big deal. I really don't think newspapers, again, I don't think news outlets of any form should be endorsing political candidates. I'm not crazy about that. Now, if they are independent per se, then go ahead. But I'm not crazy about certain news outlets endorsing political candidates. But you heard them say in the beginning, like, what does that mean for us, huh? Does that mean we have new bosses, huh? Does that mean, what does that mean here at CNN? Because again, CNN, and you see it right there. I put up on the screen for those who are tuning into this show by way of YouTube or Facebook or Goatverse TV. This is the resume right now. So I've spoken earlier about what Paramount currently owns. Now you see what Warner Brothers now owns. So if this does capitalize, which right now they're in the lead and most likely will be owning Warner Brothers, they now have CBS News and CNN. I mean, y'all, you couldn't make this stuff up. You couldn't make it up. So now literally, and Trump is he is happy as can be. He's saying, finally we can shut up those fake news people at CNN, CBS. I don't like any of them because they promote fakeness. Fake. So but what does this say now for, the United States, right? Your constitutional amendments, freedom of press. Where does that even exist anymore? Does that exist anymore? Remember, this administration did a whole revamp of their press room. They did a whole revamp of their press room. And what I mean by that is that out with the traditional journalists, the true journalists, in my opinion, and then let's bring on the pod bros. Now, I could be a little biased because, hell, I have a podcast, right? I could be in there, but me personally, I don't think I'm qualified to be in the press room now. And maybe I'm falling myself short. Shout out to my good friend, Reverend Gary McCullum, who was like, hey, look, I've seen people in there. You are more than qualified. And I was like, I appreciate that. But I mean, you have great journalists. Like I did a show a while back. Now Standish from The Hill, who was getting criticized by the press secretary Caroline Levitt. Now is a true factual journalist. April Ryan, who has been in the game for decades, a true journalist and reporter. You have folks now popping in like Matt flipping Gates, okay? What in the world? When you have folks like that in the press room saying, wow, what is the president's secret? He looks in better shape this go round than his first term. What is his secret? Like, give me a break. All you're doing is hurting the American people when you continue to make a circus of the White House and of government. All this is a circus, man. It's a circus. This bid, if finalizing, which again most likely it is, it says the latest Paramount bid included a $7 billion breakup fee in the event the proposed merger doesn't win regulatory approval. Now, the company also agreed to pay the $2.8 billion breakup fee that WBD would owe Netflix if that deal didn't go through. I mean, look, at the end of the day, more money wins. Whoever got the most wins. I mean, if you get outbid, you get outbid. I just again, I want to finalize by saying this. It's so important to support independent media. And why do I continue to share this? Because when you have superiors that are telling you what to say and what to do, that's not called true news or true journalism. It's not. That's puppetry. That's like that NSYNC commercial or NSYNC music video when they were the puppets. That's all that it is. That's all that is. Support true journalism by checking out independent platforms. It could be any platforms, whatever your narrative, or values lean towards. Because again, you got so many. I mean, you have You have free TV. You have like Democracy Now. You have the Daily Wire. You have Roland Martin Unfiltered, Black Star Network. You have The Root. You have Young Turks. There's a number of independent. Substack alone has filled with so many content creators on there. Midas Touch, right? The Lincoln, the Bulwark. There's a number. I'm going off the top of the dome here, but that is where the truth relies. There's another great. I mentioned The Hill. I mean, The Hill is quite the corporate-ish owned, but it's not as aggressive as some of these other massive corporation ones. So it's unfortunate. Again, I think that hurts CNN even more as far as viewerships, and obviously CBS has lost a ton of listenerships because, again, when they went under new ownership that was more conservative, and they had a special televised sit down with Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, which went to down the drain. No, not a lot of views tuned into that at all. But it's all a clown show. Now, speaking of Erika Kirk, I think this is a great segue to move into our girl Candace Owens, okay, who continues to make Erika Kirk's life a living hell. Like, I don't know what is it with Candace Owens and Erika Kirk. Now, see, Candace Owens was one of the I guess you could say OGs of the Turning Point USA startup, right? The genesis of when it was first originated and stuff. And when Charlie Kirk, when he was sadly assassinated, again, I don't care how you all feel about his political views. Trust me, I never agree with this guy. I probably agree with him 1%, 0.01%, maybe not even a full 1%. Like, I was never a fan of this guy at all, but he was brutally assassinated. He was brutally murdered, and it was sad. It was extremely sad. It was a sad story. Still to this day is a tragedy that should have never happened, because people, when you disagree with somebody, that should never cost them their life. They should never be attacked by any means. But Candace was always on the fence of, it's more to it, basically, because she's known to be in that conspiracy theorist queen. I consider her like the female Alex Jones. Seriously, she says some off the wall stuff. And see, now that she is no longer a part of somewhat paid media, because she had a great deal with the Daily Wire, and because of her rhetoric that she continues to spew out, she had I have my dog is over here acting up. She had talked her way out of a job, and now her and Ben Shapiro are definitely not on talking terms, and now she's also having this back and forth with the widow of one of her former dear friends, right? And so I bring this story up because it was reported that she was working on a new docuseries on Erika Kirk's conspiracy theories, sees instant backlash. This is reported by The Hollywood Reporter. Says here that Owens is facing fresh backlash after she revealed a new weapon in her arsenal for her battle against Charlie Kirk's widow and Turning Point USA CEO Erika Kirk, who took over his role after his assassination last year. Now, a multi-part docuseries that looks to expose the former beauty queen's past and motivations. The trailer for Bride of Charlie, released recently, brought a swift reaction, with several right-wing conservatives calling the far-right pundit and podcaster evil. Y'all just now finding that out? Y'all are just now finding that out. because to my knowledge, she's always been quite horrific, in my opinion. Since her PragerU days, man, she has always been a toxic individual, in my opinion. Owens, who worked under the founder, Charlie Kirk, at Turning Point USA as the political conservative nonprofit college organization's communications director until 2019, has been sharing her thoughts on Erika Kirk on the podcast she hosts called Candace, since shortly after he was gunned down last fall at Utah Valley University. The 37-year-old widow, whose widespread approval among GOP lawmakers crystallized when she received a standing ovation at President Trump's State of the Union address in Washington recently, while initially scrutinized for some of her behavior in the wake of her husband's death. Now, we've all seen it, right? The fireworks, the pyro, they're like, wow, she has an interesting way of mourning. But the details of these moments and Erika Kirk's compelling past appears to be the blood that Owen smelled in the water as she looks to discredit and expose the right-wing pundit's widow. Now, one thing I will give credit to Candace Owens. She is always on the go of finding the truth through a docuseries, right? A lot of people don't like it, but she exposed Black Lives Matter, the national organization's leadership, because there were too many. There were first speculations on, hey, they're using this for monetary gain and X, Y, and Z, and then of course, in the heat of the moment, people were like, no, that's not true. That's just a right winger trying to take down the narrative and the mission of Black Lives Matter and what it stands for, this and the other. But then further on, truth started to come out. And on a national level, yes, leaders were getting themselves in trouble, when it came to, how money was being spent or receiving certain funds or taking money from the fund. It was sad. And I mean, look, it happens to a lot of, it happens on a regular. I mean, just people don't really hear too much about it because it's never caught or reported, but she was true in that piece. Now, that doesn't mean that BLM is wrong and should never exist. No, because you have different chapters in different areas in the United States that it continues doing great work, and the mission alone is positive. Again, certain leadership at the national level, yeah, bad apples, but at the end of the day, the work and the mission must go on, because Black Lives Matter is a positive and motivated foundation or organization and movement. I want to continue reading this here. It says here, the trailer of Bride of Charlie, which appears to be a multi-episode docuseries, goes for the widow's juggler. Opening with news reports of Charlie Kirk's murder, Erika is seen sobbing for her husband in a few brief clips, but beaming in the next. Decked out in a glitter sequence pantsuit as she steps out on stage at December's Turning Point USA America Fest conference. Later, she's posing for a photo ops with fans in a replica of her late husband's famous Debate Me booth, and throwing out to the crowd some of the 50,000 Charlie Kirk memorial hats being sold at Turning Point USA. Now, her behavior in this period of grief was certainly questioned. Obviously, I mentioned early before, I'm not going to go too much into that, but the big question I think I want to share, and then I'm going to head to a quick break. What is Candace Owens' true motive? Why is she doing this? Why? Is she doing this to try and stay relevant? Is she doing this to try and win over Turning Point USA and have the right? Because it seems like a movie of its own, right? It seems like this is really my organization. Charlie and I started this, not her. She shouldn't be the leader in this. It should be I. That's where I'm getting. Am I wrong? Is it just me? Listen, I think that Kansas is just continue to be in denial because she is no longer a part of the MAGA. She's not a star in the MAGA movement. I'll say that. She's not a star in the MAGA movement. Remember when Trump first came out, in the political space, it was so many stars that gained popularity riding the MAGA coattail. Okay. Candace Owens was one of them. Charlie was another one. I think Dan Bongino was another one. Oh man. I mean, I wouldn't consider Leo Terrell a star, but he's continued to try and stay relevant through the MAGA lens. I mean, Tim Scott, by far, Byron Donald. I mean, a lot of folks largely gained momentum because of MAGA and the MAGA side. But we will continue to follow up on this story. Again, it's Candace Owens continue doing what she normally does, and that's petty USA. I mean, that's what she does. So we will talk more about this later on. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take a quick commercial break here, and then we'll come back. We'll share a couple more stories before we close it up. You're listening to the Arrington Gavin Show, my friends. Do not go anywhere and do not change that dial. We'll be right back after this.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
Let me tell you something most people get wrong about suits. A suit isn't just about you wearing it. It's how you show the world who you are. It's your handshake before you say a word, your presence when you step into any room. That's why we design statements at Dapper Luke. We don't just make suits. We'll start with the fabrics that tell your story, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blend sourced from the finest mills in Italy, the UK, and India. Then we'll combine that with your vision, your personality, and your style. Every detail is tailored to you, from the fit to the finish. Whether for your wedding, a gala, the boardroom, we specialize in creating custom suits that are unique, just like the men who wear them. We spent years perfecting this craft, apprenticing under designers in New York and showcasing collections in New York and for Baltimore Fashion Week. None of that matters as much as seeing the look on your face when you try on your custom suit. Over 900 clients have already trusted us to deliver the best custom suits. They trust me to deliver the confidence. We proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore and would be honored to bring your vision to life next. Let's create something unforgettable. Book your free consultation today at www.dapperluke.com.
Hey, Dad, want to go for a walk?
Well, that'll help me get my steps in for the day. Gotta stay healthy and strong.
Bet you're healthier than me.
I'd like to keep it that way. Doc says I need to walk 10,000 steps a day. How long is that?
Don't know. How about you tell me a story instead of counting steps?
I could tell you about the house my father and uncle built for us.
That's a couple of thousand steps right there.
Staying connected keeps you going strong. Learn ways to stay happy, active, and independent at cdc.gov/stillgoingstrong.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Look, let's talk about did y'all hear about Krysten Sinema? Do y'all remember her? Krysten Sinema? Or is it Kirsten? Kirsten Sinema. I don't know why I say Kristen. Krysten Sinema. She's a former U.S. Senator, Arizona U.S. Senator, who was at the time started her career as a Democrat for quite some time, and then was seen as kind of like the oddball Democrat in the U.S. House. Her alongside Joe Manchin. I mean, they were kind of like the two lone rangers. It was to me, it was must-see TV because it showed, hey, look, there's issues happening in both parties, right? Within their party, not just amongst each other, it just showed that, hey, they're human. They do not see eye to eye on most things. And she was very known for that. She has since then left the Democratic Party. I think she left while she was still in office, did not win re-election. And what she's doing now, I believe she does like some consulting work or works at a law firm, something like that. I remember seeing her on a political show. Not too long ago. So she's, kind of in the political space, but most likely not. But hey, when this came out, I'm like, well, this is not good. So she is being accused of illegally spending $700,000 in campaign funds on personal expenses. Now, this is reported by the Arizona Mirror. A campaign watchdog group has accused former U.S. Senator Krysten Sinema of illegally spending, as I mentioned, the number, $700,000 in campaign cash on personal expenses, including in luxury hotel rooms, concert tickets, and fancy meals. Okay, let's be honest, that's the norm in politics. That's why folks hate, and hate may be a strong word, but that's why they hate politicians, because they feel like all they do is just continue to lie to people, make money. They enter in as multi-thousandaires, leave out multi-millionaires in a freaking 4-year term, and it's unheard of. In its complaint with the FEC Campaign Legal Center says Sinema spent the money in 2025 after she left the U.S. Senate in violation of the Federal Election Campaign Act, prohibition on personal use of campaign funds. Now, quote here, I'm going to read from the Campaign Legal Center. Ms. Sinema converted over $700,000 in campaign funds to personal use during 2025 after leaving the Senate by spending it on travel, lodging, meals, staff salaries, and other expenses that were unrelated to any campaign or political activity. Now, the federal law bars candidates from converting campaign funds to personal use, and it allows former office holders like Sinema a 6-month wind down period for legitimate expenses needed to close down a campaign. The complaint alleges spending continue well after the window should have closed on July 3rd of 2025. Now through at least October, which no apparent political activity to justify it. Now, when Sinema left office in January 3rd of 2025, her campaign account had $4.2 million on hand. By January 31st of 2026, when she filed a termination report for her campaign committee, all that money had been spent. Now, the federal campaign finance laws are clear that politicians who leave office do not have the green light to use leftover campaign funds. However, they won't. They want the Campaign Legal Center's director, Saurav Ghosh, said in a written statement, former Senator Sinema appears to have spent exorbitant amount of money on a personal spending spree during the 12 months after she left office. The FEC must investigate her use of campaign money and hold accountable for any violations of campaign finance laws. See, that's that bull that we be talking about. Because it was always a personal benefit for her, if this is true. But hey, numbers don't lie, reports don't lie. She was already being accused of being bought out while she was in Senate, because when it was time to, for her to vote on something that was big, it was especially a big win for the Democratic Party, she was one of the ones that said, no, I'm going to side. People see it says here more than half of the alleged illegal spending was on salaries for 6 staffers, including several who were paid while working other jobs, either with Sinema or an organization she founded. Now, for instance, Daniel Winkler, the senator's former senior advisor, moved with her to lobbying firm Hogan Loves in March of 2025 by collecting campaign paychecks totaling $151,000 through September of 2025. Now, and Michelle Davidson, Sinema's former deputy chief of staff, collected $85,000 in a campaign pay, even as she was working as the executive director of the Spark Center of Innovation in Learning at ASU, and the center Sinema founded with $3 million in campaign funds. Looking at my time here. I will continue this because this stretched out for a while, but there was another report here that's saying Sinema gave $9,000, reported by The Guardian, that Sinema gave $9,000 to a man she accused of having an affair with. I mean, this continues to get juicy, y'all. A man identified in court filings as having an affair with the former U.S. senator received almost $9,000 from Sinema's former campaign committee in October, according to the newly filed documents. The filings come just weeks after man's estranged wife accused Sinema of wrecking their marriage. According to reports from Notice, which cites a newly filed Federal Election Commission, the recipient was Matthew J. Amel, who worked as a security guard for Sinema. He was paid $1,815.91 on October 15th and $7,136.14 on October 31st, in a payment listed as payroll, according to filing submitted by Sinema for Arizona. Y'all, this continues to get juicy. Now, y'all know, look, it'd be lonely sometime in them chambers. And, they get so tired of, sitting for hours, State of the Unions, meetings and this and that in Congress and in the Capitol. And they're just like saying, sometimes I just need the rocks knocked off. This girl, first of all, it must have been good. She's giving him almost 10 grand, right? She's like, here's 10 grand. Just go. Just get out of here. Like, wow. Like, it's just wow. Like, first of all, how bad does it feel to be the guy? Because he just over here, he done lost his wife, pretty much his job, because I'm assuming he's no longer a security guard for her. And all he getting is 9 grand. I tell you, man, politics, man, politics. But we're going to continue sharing a little more about Miss Sinema, because this is there's a few more things I want to read, but I'm looking at my time here, y'all, and I am running a little low. So if you don't mind, we'll continue this conversation on the next show. And if I don't do it on there, I might do a mini pod. We here and there we do mini pods on audio only. So if you happen to follow us on our by way of podcast, then you can tune into that. But before we leave, y'all, as always, thank you so much for sticking with us. And do me a favor, if you want to continue to follow up and tune in to what we got going on off the mic. Look, you know how to follow us on our social media platforms: Instagram, as I mentioned, Facebook. We're on TikTok as well. So check us out on those platforms. You can also check out our website, www.theagshow, A as in Apple, G as in George, show.com. If you want to get connected with us, shoot us an email. You can contact us through that as well. We have a website that gets a lot of presence, man, large presence. So continue to tune in. Y'all stay safe out there, stay blessed, stay informed. I will talk to y'all soon for another great episode. I'm out.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.